Micah. This is the word of Adonai that came to Micah, the Morashati, during the days of Yotam, Achaz, and Yesekiah, king of Yehuda, which he saw concerning Shamron and Jerusalem. Listen, peoples, all of you. Pay attention, earth and everything in it. Adonai Elohim will witness against you, Adonai, from his holy temple. For, look, Adonai is coming out of his place, coming down to tread on the high places of the land. Beneath him, the mountains will melt. The valleys will split open like wax before fire, like water poured out down a steep slope. All this is because of the crime of Yaakov and the sins of the house of Israel. What is the crime of Yaakov? Isn't it Shamron? And what are the high places of Yehuda? Aren't they Jerusalem? So I will make Shamron a heap in the countryside, a place for planting vineyards. I will pour her stones down into the valley, laying bare her foundations. All her carved images will be smashed to pieces. All she earned consumed by fire, and I will reduce her idols to rubble. She amassed them from a whore's wages, and as a whore's wages, they will be spent again. This is why I howl and wail, why I go barefoot and stripped, why I howl like the jackals and mourn like the ostriches. For her womb cannot be healed, and now it is coming to Yehuda as well. It reaches even to the gate of my people, to Jerusalem itself. Don't tell about it at Gat. Don't shed any tears. At Beit Lephra, house of dust, roll yourself in the dust. Inhabitants of Shaphir, pass on your way in nakedness and shame. The inhabitants of Zanim had not left yet. The wailing of Beit Haitzel will remove from you their support. The inhabitants of Marah have no hope of anything good, for Adonai has sent down disaster to the very gate of Jerusalem. Harness the chariots to the fastest horses, inhabitants of Lachish. She was the beginning of sin, for the daughter of Zion, for the crimes of Israel are traceable to you. Therefore you must bestow parting gifts upon Moreshet Gad. The houses of Achziv will disappoint the kings of Israel. Inhabitants of Mareshah, I have yet to bring you the one who will invade and possess you. The glory of Israel will come to Adullam. Shave their hair from your head as you mourn for the children who were your delight. Make yourselves as bold as vultures, for they have gone from you into exile. Woe to those who think up evil and plan wickedness as they lie in bed. When morning comes, they do it, since they have it in their power. They covet fields and seize them. They take over houses as well, doing violence to both owner and house, to people and their inherited land. Therefore, this is what Adonai says. Against this family I am planning an evil, from which you will not withdraw your necks, nor will you walk with your heads held high, for in it will be an evil time. On that day they will take up a dirge for you. Sadly lamenting, they will wail, "We are completely ruined! A people's land has changed hands. Our fields are taken away from us. Instead of restoring them, he parses them out. Therefore you have no one in the assembly of Adonai to stretch out a measuring line and restore the land assigned by lot. Don't preach!" Thus they preach. They shouldn't preach about these things. Shame will not overtake us. Is this what the house of Yaakov says? Adonai has not grown impatient, and these things are not his doings. Rather, my words do only good to anyone living uprightly. But lately, my people behave like an enemy, stripping both cloaks and tunics from travelers who thought they were secure, so that they become like war refugees. You throw up my people's women out of the homes they love. You deprive their children of my glory forever. Get up and go. You can't stay here, because the land is now unclean. I will destroy you with a grievous destruction. The man who walks in wind and falsehood tells this lie. I will preach to you of how good it is to drink wine and strong liquor. This people will accept him as their preacher. I will assemble all of you, Yaakov. I will gather the remnant of Israel. I will put them together like sheep in a pen, like a herd in its pasture. It will hum with the sounds of people. One breaking through went up before them. They broke through, past the gate, and went out. Their king passed on before them. Adonai was leading them. I said, please listen, leaders of Yaakov, rulers of the house of Israel. Shouldn't you know what justice is? Yet you hate what is good and love what is bad. You strip off their skin from them and their flesh from their bones. You eat the flesh of my people, skin them alive, break their bones. Yes, you chop them in pieces like flesh in a cauldron, like meat in a pot. Then they will call to Adonai, but he will not answer them. When that time comes, he will hide his face from them, because their deeds were so wicked. Here is what Adonai says in regard to the prophets who cause my people to go astray, who cry peace as soon as they are given food to eat, but prepare war against anyone who fails to put something in their mouths. Therefore you will have night, not vision, darkness, and not divination. The sun will go down on the prophets. Over them the day will be black. The seers will be put to shame. The diviners will be disgraced. They will have to cover their mouths because there will be no answer from God. On the other hand, I am full of power by the Spirit of Adonai, full of justice and full of might, to declare to Yaakov his crime, to Israel's his sin. Hear this, please, leaders of the house of Yaakov, rulers of the house of Israel, you who abhor what is just and pervert anything that is right, who build up Zion with blood and Jerusalem with wickedness. Her leaders sell verdicts for bribes. Her Kohanim teach for a price. Her prophets divine for money. Yet they claim to rely on Adonai. Isn't Adonai here with us, they say? No evil can come upon us. Therefore, because of you, Zion will be plowed under like a field. Jerusalem will become heaps of ruins in the mountains, and the mountain of the house like a forested height.